Video is now streaming, so this is the event from D.I.C.E. D.I.C.E 2019 IGN Live. I do this like every single year. Video is now streaming, so this is the event from D.I.C.E 2019 IGN Live. I do this like every single year. Video is now streaming, so this is the event from D.I.C.E 2019 IGN Live. I do this like every single year. The stream is starting, so we need to wait until they're just setting up the stream, and I'm just waiting for the D.I.C.E 2019. I'm very sick today, and because I have cough, my nose is running. That's why I can't speak that loud. Only my mic is loud. It's not like my voice. I'm far away. Just setting up the stream, and I'm just waiting for the D.I.C.E 2019. I'm very sick today. Video is now streaming, so this is the event from D.I.C.E 2019 IGN Live. I do this like every single year. The stream is starting, so we need to wait until they're just setting up the stream, and I'm just waiting for the D.I.C.E 2019. I'm very sick today, and because I have cough, my nose is running. That's why I can't speak that loud. Only my mic is loud. It's not like my voice. I'm far away. Just setting up the stream, and I'm just waiting for the D.I.C.E 2019. I'm very sick today.
Your business goes.
That was
Messy writing can cost you. Save time and money with Grammarly Business, complete with centralized billing, easy seat management, and team writing stats. Visit Grammarly.com/business to get started.
Czy wszystko
It's like, see, Nintendo is gonna be there in the live stream. Many companies like the Nintendo, PlayStation, like Chinese company, new games are gonna be announced. So I want to see the games that are gonna be announced. So I'm just gonna like put my image. See. And that's this background sound, so I'm just like want to put like here, so I'm retracting to the live stream.
impact of gaming as an industry.
Design, innovate, communicate.
It's finally started now.
When you meet
We're
the
gonna live
gamers,
stream.
We're making video games in the real world. How do I become this big? More ways for us to celebrate games and
Guys, 2019. Finally here. Guys, I've been waiting this for a long time. But now that it's finally here, and it's what I've seen. See?
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the president
This is the
of the Academy
event.
of Interactive Arts and Sciences, MrScottyPieey.
See?
Good morning, everybody.
This is the event, guys, 2019.
Dry in Vegas, so I'm going to keep my water.
Welcome to D.I.C.E Summit. A big special welcome to all of the brave folks from Seattle. If you're in the room, thank you for driving to the airport or skiing to the bottom of your hill to get to the car that's going to take you to the airport. Thank you for being here today. I hope everyone else managed to come in early and be here yesterday for all of the activities that we had. It was a full day. We hosted our annual go-karting tournament sponsored by Exola, a networking event at Topgolf, and my own personal favorite, in which I am no longer allowed to participate because I work here, the poker tournament. Don't know who won, but congratulations. A new thing that we added this year also is yoga. I thought it would be interesting and neat to start the day with something other than a Wheel of Fortune slot machine. Later today, our board chairman, Min Kim from Bonfire Studios, will host the annual Magic the Gathering tournament, sponsored by GameSite. There may also be a semi-secret invitation-only D&D table, but they don't tell me everything. Fun fact, Min Kim will also be introducing most of the summit talks today because I will have to go to my own semi-secret meeting that I will tell you about later. So thanks for taking one for the team, Min. We have a busy 2 days ahead of us. We have a day of summit talks to look forward to, followed by our opening night reception. And tomorrow we've got a full day of roundtables, ending with the 22nd annual D.I.C.E Awards ceremony. The summit talks and awards will be live streamed by IGN. The roundtables, however, are not. This year they're hosted by Virtuous, and they are not streamed nor are press allowed in the room. This is because we like to provide a safe space for candid conversation and open debate. The roundtables are truly a one-of-a-kind experience that you only get if you're quite literally at the table. And that's kind of what makes D.I.C.E Summit a must-attend event. And if you don't join a roundtable while you're here, you're really missing out. For those of you familiar with the roundtables, we're doing things differently this year. You used to be able to sign up in advance for a roundtable, but now it's first come, first served. So we'll have schedules printed out, and you can pick them up at the registration desk. They're also listed in your phone app. Do yourself a favor, join at least one roundtable, you won't regret it. It's a unique opportunity to network with your peers, and that's the best thing about D.I.C.E. It's a place where you genuinely make connections and possibly friends. Of course, none of this would be possible without all of our incredible sponsors and media partner IGN, who will be streaming all of our content today, as well as the big award ceremony tomorrow night. I especially want to thank my board of directors. This is a group of people I couldn't be more proud to work for. They are a group of volunteers dedicated to creating an environment in games that is positive and rewarding, and I thank them every day for their contributions. I also wanted to be sure to mention that if you haven't noticed already, we've got Magic Leap in the arcade. They're demoing 2 of their experiences that also happen to be nominated for awards tomorrow night, so if you get a chance, get in there. It's like nothing you've tried before. Later today, we're doing something new. We'll also be recording a live AI/AS Game Makers Notebook podcast supported by Intel. Ted Price, founder and CEO of Insomniac, will chat with Brian Intihar, creative director of Insomniac, about all things Spidey, so be sure to check that out. I hope many of you are aware of our foundation. The AI/AS Foundation is the charitable arm of our organization, and it hosts several programs aimed at helping people get into the game industry and helping underrepresented game developers stay in the industry. We offer tuition assistance to students looking to enter games programs. This year we have students and graduates from Duke, Southern Methodist University, NYU, Carnegie Mellon, MIT, and New York University. In addition to tuition assistance for some of them, they are provided travel stipends to attend D.I.C.E, passes to GDC, and a year-long mentorship with an industry professional. And now, this wouldn't be possible without the support from our Women in grant provider Intel, a grant from the Bigglesworth Foundation, and the support of individual donors. The foundation also hosts Amplifying New Voices. It's a program with unwavering financial support from Oculus and GDC and an incredible number of volunteers. A&B provides professional training for mid-career developers looking to advance their careers. We provide headshots, bio writing, on-camera, PR, media, and speaker training. Our goal is to create the next generation of spokespeople for our games, and it's personally my favorite event. Also, the foundation has never held a proper fundraising event, and that's about to change this year with their first video game industry 5K race. In April, in Los Angeles, we will be hosting the AIAS Bit Run 5K to raise money for our continued efforts to support up-and-coming developers in need. More information can be found on our website, but we hope to see you run or walk for us soon. If anything, it's a great opportunity to meet up with fellow game makers in LA at the beach on a Saturday morning. So if you're interested in supporting the foundation in any way, please let me know. Okay, let's get started. Let's introduce our keynote. I'm pretty excited about our opening keynote. Whenever I invite someone to speak, especially on a keynote level, I very rarely expect them to say yes right away, but that's what happened with today's keynote. It all started with a brainstorm. Our theme this year is Trailblazers, and we wanted to put people on stage who were taking risks, people who were creating better worlds in which to play, people who were testing boundaries, people who were carving their own path. And who better, I think, than the chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios. This year in particular, Sony has shown us that they don't intend to follow the pack. I don't know what is in store for them this year, but I kind of find it strangely exciting. They aren't playing by the rules, and that's what Trailblazer does. They surprise you, and I can't wait to see what they have in store this year. So please welcome to the stage our keynote, Sean Layden.
Good morning, Meg.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Meg, and good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for coming this morning. The hundreds here in the room at an early time after a long evening, I'm sure. I'd like to thank those of you who are on the internet watching us streaming from your home or from your office, or more likely from school, for allowing this time for me to share with you some of the observations from my vantage in the industry. Ours is an industry with humble beginnings, an industry that has grown dramatically in membership, in impact, and in influence over the years. Nevertheless, we try to keep it real as we push boundaries and try to do no harm. To illustrate this, the evolution of D.I.C.E when it first began, oh, there we go, more than 20 years ago. I heard that maybe 5 or 6 people watched it on AOL or GeoCities streaming or something back then. But now times are different. The industry then was new, and it has grown. But I just got to say, what's up with those haircuts, guys? Seriously? Ted, I think you're in the room. Back then gaming was almost a secret activity. You'd come across other gamers at a comic book shop or at a Blockbusters, and you'd walk up and you hear someone say, "Did you say Doom?" And you start to have a conversation, and then the connection was made. In some cases, those connections have lasted a lifetime, and have even led to creating a livelihood in this industry. As they say, we've come a long way. And looking out on all of you now, it's great to see familiar faces and new ones here at D.I.C.E, to see how you have shaped the industry that we all love so much. I don't know if any of us could have predicted how far we would have come by this time. Today, competitive gaming fills up stadiums with thousands, tens of thousands of people watching. There are dedicated streaming services based around watching other people play video games. And Ninja gets on the cover of ESPN magazine. I mean, what the heck's going on here? Our grandparents are now playing
Ninja, Twitter,
sports stars, and rappers tweet out their experiences in playing games. R&B singers talk about how they can't live without their consoles, and it's the one thing that they always bring on tour.
Saturday Night Live had a sketch recently where the actors played video game characters.
Raptors.
MPD data shows us gaming in the United States, just in the US, was over $35 billion in 2018. I mean, what the heck? Our industry broke the record it set in 2017. 2018 is really a good year. And at a global level, that figure is closer to $140 billion. Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man, the video game, had a bigger opening weekend than the 2017 movie. The standard used to be making a game to follow a movie. More and more now, we see the possibility that the characters that we create can transcend our medium and be part of other forms of art. In fact, Uncharted is currently under development to become a major motion picture.
Looking around,
the years, the games,
I couldn't be prouder
the
of all that we've
graphics always get better, technology gets better all the time.
accomplished. Folks in this room.
our industry is at an inflection point.
A moment when we're
shedding our youth and becoming a cultural lodestone. The community has grown because gamers don't grow out of gaming anymore. We've got a lot more folks in this industry with gray hair, myself included. Gamers are everyone. We do not see games as childish things that need to be put away. We embrace gaming as the art form of our generation, as the most powerful form of expression. For so many, gaming has become a tremendous part about the way in which we enrich our lives. And we, as the game makers, have the opportunity to continue to push for new perspectives, new heroes and heroines, whose lives we can embody, if only for a few moments, or in some instances, for a few years. We can continue to bring together new friends and old over vast distances in different life circumstances. We've got an incredible opportunity
in what is one of the biggest inflection points in the history of gaming.
But,
Spider-Man,
as to quote Peter Parker's Uncle Ben, with great power there must also come great responsibility. As we have this tremendous moment, I want to share with you a few of the biggest lessons we have learned through game development. Number one, quality above all. Our fans trust us to make amazing gaming experiences for them, and we must fulfill that promise. And if this takes more time, we have to give it more time. New IP isn't always easy, but it's always necessary. Whether taking a risk on a new title or to promote a new system, we have to take chances to grow and learn and continue to push our industry forward. Finally, we can't predict how people will play, but play they will. We have the chance to continue to grow this audience, to welcome new voices in the fan base and in the development community, to broaden our tent for gaming. Thanks to many of you in this room, the industry has gone through tectonic shifts that have simultaneously pushed the technology, pushed the creativity, and developed entire markets. There are new economics around gaming, new business models have surfaced, new ways to monetize content, including free-to-play and games as a service. But as is always the case with creative pursuits, there must be a keen balance struck between monetization and the user experience. We never want to lose sight of that fact, and if we do, our audience will correct us. Looking back at a few major milestones, it seems like it was all given. But as we know, there is blood, there is sweat, there are sleepless nights, and maybe even a few tears. Right, Corey? That go into creating something truly earth-shattering.
Balance.
We need look no further than to our friends at Rockstar, who launched a little title back in 2013, way back then, that forever changed people's relationships with games. GTA 5 has been one of the top revenue-generating titles every year since it launched. A relentless pursuit of quality, expansion, and really engaging experiences are hallmarks of the games developed by Rockstar, and we are all better for their trailblazing. Truly, nothing like this industry has ever seen before. Bravo. A little further back, in the recesses of our minds, back in 2011, a Swedish developer launched a sandbox game, reminiscent of Legos.
Minecraft made people think a little differently about games.
Minecraft, that's PS4.
Suddenly, they were a tool for creating and collaborating. Parents
and kids playing together. Kids had LAN parties, building endless worlds together.
Minecraft forever changed the industry.
Best video game, but Minecraft, like when Minecraft was released,
it helped us all think differently about what graphic fidelity means.
Back in 2009, so that's 10 years from now, and Minecraft it's getting low. So you don't see that much Minecraft videos on YouTube anymore. Only like a few percent, a little bit of people not playing Minecraft anymore.
Thought Nintendo might one day be out of the hardware business. People would say things like, kids play games on mobile phones and tablets. Dedicated portable gaming is dead and gone. But as I've said it before, never underestimate Nintendo. And boy, did they ever deliver. Not only with innovative, easy to use, fun to take along gaming, they also launched it with a Game of the Year. All of us are better for their efforts. And innovations coming from any size company, from every corner of the world, whether it's New York, Stockholm, Tokyo, or even Cary, North Carolina. Epic may not have been a household name a few years ago, but it sure is now. One really can't overstate the effect of Fortnite in the world of 2018. It is without a doubt a global phenomenon whose impact will be felt for several years. Once again, game makers have changed the economics of the industry. Fortnite Battle Royale showed how free-to-play could be done by creating a compelling social experience that drives millions of friends to go into that island, drop into that island, over and over again, and again, and again. Changing tack for just a moment, I'd like to take a time right now to answer a question that I saw on Reddit, for those of you who read Reddit, after my first appearance on stage at E3 in 2014, under the headline, "Who the hell is this guy?" It took me a lot to read that Reddit thread. It will thicken one's skin. Well, in answer to that question, though, you can call me a prospector, an early prospector from the 5th generation of video gaming. I started with PlayStation back in 1996 and spent years in Tokyo, London, California. So I've been around for a little while. Let's hear it for 32-bit gaming. Remember when that was a thing? I started in Japan with a team
Western games to bring them to the Japanese market.
Like 64-bit.
You can imagine
32-bit, like
what that challenge was. Not
that,
unlike trying to bring American automobiles
like, a little bit
into the Japanese market.
32-bit is like dead now.
Things became
a lot more straightforward then when I moved to London. There I was focused on broadening our offering of partnering with key Japanese developers to bring their content to Europe. I worked together with some American publishers as well. We were the official publishing partners for Namco, Square, Disney, Sega, and a handful of others during my time there. And I think those efforts helped further globalize gaming and make our worldwide community come a little bit closer. After many years in London, I assumed the role of president of Sony Computer Entertainment Japan. My first time leading a sales and marketing operation. And I must admit, I was a little hesitant to attempt that leap, leaping the species bar from development into marketing. You know, could I stick the landing? But my time in that role starting in Japan, then laterally in America, helped me to understand better and appreciate and love what it is we do for our fans and our stakeholders, whether they be retailers, journalists, and others. Today, back in PD, as chairman of Worldwide Studios, I'm proud to work with some of the most talented creators and some of the best studios in the world, making some of the greatest games anywhere, if I may humbly say so. Games that innovate, excite, and when we get it right, we raise the bar. This focus on quality was instilled in me during my early years at Sony, which was well before PlayStation was a twinkle in Ken Kutaragi's eye. Way back then in the 80s, I worked directly for Sony founder and chairman, Akio Morita. Quality above all. Morita-san launched Sony to enable technologists, engineers, dreamers to work together to find out what they were passionate about and to do the things that others do not. By the 80s, Sony was riding high because of the spirit and focus from Morita-san on quality and innovation. Morita-san taught me that quality of the products was fundamental if we are to exceed our customers' expectations. That even when pushing technological boundaries, we must always make delighting our fans the key priority. He would say we must forever push innovation, even if it meant murdering our darlings. We have to make our products obsolete before other people do, because they will. Morita-san understood well the innovator's dilemma and grappled with it constantly. Of course, times change, but the cascade of challenges is relentless. Many of you know that PlayStation 2 was an industry triumph. It remains one of the best-selling consoles of all time, but coming off the heels of that was PlayStation 3, a stark moment of hubris in the nearly 25 years of PlayStation history. As we sometimes call it, PS3 was our Icarus moment. That was when I returned from London to join Sony Computer Entertainment Japan, and for our business, the fall was sharp. We hadn't listened to our customers. We created a devilish development environment. We reacted too slowly, and our network was underdeveloped. And worst of all, if you remember, was the price point. While the PlayStation 3 and our fight to stay relevant has been well covered, what wasn't as well covered was the call we made at that time to transform our company into what we are today. We doubled our efforts to develop incredible games and strengthen our partnerships for the next generation. We listened to developers and gamers. We listened to this guy, Mark Cerny. He's here somewhere, I think. We created PS4, a console for developers as much as it was for fans. We focused on the quality of our games, on making titles that would stand the test of time, the way that the best pieces of art often do. Games like The Last of Us, Uncharted, Infamous. During that era, we also began work on many of our more recent, highly acclaimed titles, including God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Bloodborne. With each move, we listened to our fans and respected our founders. Always Morita-san in the back of our minds. We focused on delivering innovation and quality across our portfolio. As a member of our senior management team, we would discuss how to provide the freedom and time to our creators to make games into incredible stories and experiences for our fans. To bring to life entertainment that would engage and inspire. But also, we remember, real artists ship. We have to meet expectations for our fans and for our company. We seek to strike the right balance between our developers and our business while living up to the promise we make to our fans. I think it works because at the end, we really all have the same goal. No one wants to make a game hardly anyone plays and no one finishes. We all want as many people as possible to experience our creations. Sometimes that means adding time, doubling down, and truly believing in a team that can take a beloved franchise to a new and more powerfully expressive level, a la God of War. Sometimes it means choosing to do the new thing. New IP isn't always easy, but it's always necessary. Imagine for a moment that a game studio comes up to you. They want to make a game set in a post-apocalyptic Colorado, where the heroine protagonist fights against, wait for it, robot dinosaurs. Or you could go with a title that's more similar to what that studio has made in the past, a supernatural shooter that brings in werewolves and a few of the first-person shooting mechanics that studio is known for. We looked at Guerrilla Games' proposal, heard what they were saying. They wanted to take a new direction. So they solicited pitches from their own studio, from internal, and received more than 30 pitches, including an idea from their art director that became Horizon Zero Dawn. The world was a complete 180 from what that studio had delivered previously. We had begun working with Guerrilla, way back when, to have a first-person shooter called Killzone developed for the launch of PlayStation 3. The studio didn't have any experience in open world. Herman Hulst, the studio director, pitched both Horizon could be, and to very good effect. A game of this quality, arriving in the first generation of a new technology, helps us lay a foundation for everyone to build upon. The talent in this room, and those watching from around the world, will develop the new ideas and bring new concepts to life and further this experience. I'm confident of that. Now is the time for us all to create things that we've never been able to do before. To experiment and to try and to fail and to try and to fail again. To come up with new, rich experiences that will amaze and delight our fans. This is, without a doubt, an exciting time to be in VR. And I can't wait to see what all of you will deliver to that platform. But I want you to remember that no matter what comes next, we really can't predict how people will play. But people will play. We have a unique position in the industry. We have a unique industry in and of itself. We don't make cars, we don't make refrigerators. We make games. We make experiences that entertain and inspire. We lift people out of their daily lives and give them the opportunity to become an astronaut exploring far-off planets, or an adventurer looking for lost treasures, or a cowboy needing a horse. And one thing I can assure you, from more than 20 years in this business, the technology will change. We will have new, more advanced ways to play, updated graphics, seamless interfaces. I've seen our platforms transform from playing compact discs, which we don't anymore actually, to becoming home entertainment hubs that pull an entire digital storefront right into your living room. But through it all, it's people's love of games, and they have always loved to play. It is our responsibility then to continue to broaden the tent, to continue to ensure that everyone can play. All are welcome here. We must keep striving to make games more accessible, as Xbox has done with its adaptive controller, and what we have had the privilege to do with our software titles. Naughty Dog has opened the door for us with its several accessibility modes. They heard the call from our fans with accessibility needs, who are some of our biggest fans and most devoted that we could ever hope to know. But they couldn't do simple things. They weren't able to mash a button or to meet a simple time cue. Items that weren't crucial to the story, but inhibited their experience. And led by the dreamers, the creators, the innovators at our studios around the world, we are looking for ways to build accessibility options into all of our games. This is important work. We need the developer community to help us with this task. As an industry, we must lead from the front. We must continue to make gaming more open to everyone. Open to all gamers of good faith and good humor. All are welcome. Our industry brings joy and friendship, not animosity and divisiveness. Surely there's more than enough divisiveness in the world today. As you will build the next generation of games, all of you will, and I hope that we will cherish the promise made to our fans that we bring play, we bring fun. We must admit, this has got to be the best job in the world. Before wrapping up, I want to share a moment from last year that I think highlights how we can all work together to raise the community together. Girls Make Games. For those of you who don't know, Layla Shabir started Girls Make Games to provide young women the opportunity to learn how to make games over a 3-week summer camp. We've had the privilege of hosting this camp for the past 2 years on the PlayStation campus. And we've also had the honor to host the day when all of the best teams from across the country come together to present their final ideas. They call it Demo Day. This past year on Demo Day, we saw horror games and platformers and games that took head-on complex social issues like bullying. And each of those games came uniquely from a perspective and experience that only a new cohort could provide for us. Our industry came together to celebrate these young, aspiring game makers. Leadership from Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation were present on campus in celebration of girls making games. I'm proud of what we demonstrated that day and what it means for our industry. And spend 10 minutes with Layla Shabir or the campers at Girls Make Games, and you will know that our future is bright. And this is why this talk is called Beyond Generations. Let us all be allies to one another, never adversaries. Sure, we will all compete for attention to further this industry, but we do so to keep the video game landscape vibrant and essential. We have the power to bring joy, inspiration, respite. We have the ability to transport people to new worlds, provide for them superpowers. As developers, we really don't compete against one another. We all craft art. And art is founded on the creative, not the competitive. There's a proverb that comes to mind as I think about what we can accomplish together, now especially as so much around us changes. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today. So what will you plant today? What seed of an idea will you act on and move forward with? What passion project is sitting on a shelf while you're toiling over something you don't really love? Maybe take a minute and think about building the game you want to play, or the game you need to build. Maybe that game will be the next industry-changing inflection point. I'm looking to all of you to make us do better, be better. Thank you so much for inviting me here to be today with all of you. I'm humbled for the honor, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Thanks. Cheers, love.
Thank you, Sean and Sony, for the amazing things that you do and for continuing to raise the bar. And also, thank you for reminding us that we have the best jobs in the world and together that we can make a difference. My name is Min Kim, and I serve on the board of the Academy with Megan and other dedicated members of the board. Today, I have the honor of introducing our Day of Talks. Every year, we gather at D.I.C.E to celebrate and elevate the art of game making. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting the Academy and our industry. Our next speaker is Executive Director of Ubisoft, and he's going to share with us the game-changing impact of AI. Please welcome Dr. Yves Jacquier.
So today I would like to celebrate with you two birthdays. AI and video gaming turned 70 years old. And during the last 70 years, they crafted a relationship that leads today to brand new areas to explore. In 1948, Alan Turing wrote an article about intelligence machinery, which is a foundation for the principles of machine learning. His guiding principle is an analogy with the human brain. Turing points out that proper education is at the core of human intelligence. He gives simple examples of such machines that can learn by means of rewards and punishments. This academic experiment is considered as the first video game in history. It's fully analog. No lines of codes, neither AI were required for this ballistic game. We've been making games and video games for decades, and AI has been at the core of our production processes or to shape the player's interactions. So why are we here to discuss about AI? Why is it considered as a new or disruptive topic for many domains, including our industry? Let's start with a hint. This is how we made cinematics in Assassin's Creed Origins 2 years ago.
A real one, yeah!
Ah, go ahead.
You're gonna love it. There's like 16 hyenas, and it's so dark and scary. Well, you know what? I'd rather go home with my puppos. You always get too scared.
Hey. Let's go on a real hunt. Huh?
All right.
Come.
As you can see, this requires capturing a lot of data and many people from many different crafts. The logistics of such traditional method is expensive and not flexible. For example, each retake requires a lot of efforts and mobilization. Can AI have a concrete impact that shakes the foundations of our pipelines? Let's ask someone who's been heavily impacted by AI last year. Bayek, can you explain us how disruptive AI is?
Hello everyone. Creating in-game cinematics requires many skilled professionals such as motion capture, animation, and dialogue experts. 1 year ago, it would have involved hours of manual work to record and animate this dialogue. Now, what if I told you that everything about me is driven by artificial intelligence? My voice has been generated from a simple text file, which then drives my lips animation. It's totally automatic, takes just a few minutes, and soon will work in real time. And the best thing, it works in any language.
Par exemple, je parle le français avec un accent canadien.
I'm not sure what the limits are, but it gives you an idea of the incoming magnitude of changes for many professions involved in video games, such as animation and dialogue experts.
Unless you've been intentionally avoiding the news last year, you have heard about AI. But what is this exactly? What is the part of artificial intelligence that has recently evolved exponentially? AI represents a concept of machines that can learn, reason, and act for themselves. Machine learning is a subset of AI. They are programs using statistics to find patterns in massive amount of data and then use those patterns to make predictions on new data. Deep learning can be seen as machine learning on steroids. It extracts features or learns from complex data in order to make a prediction in new situations. For example, it can be used for image recognition or natural language processing. And because it's still exploratory, we live a time of excessive expectations followed by excessive disappointments. Although all technologies follow a similar fate, the topic is usually misunderstood for some very specific reasons. The nature of machine learning brings uncommon challenges. First, it goes very fast. Most of our processes or production life cycles hurt our innovation capacity. Second, it requires data, expertise, and a valuable application. Few companies have the three. It brings up industrially interesting results, but mostly popping at a comedic stage. Therefore, it grows in a culture of openness and publication that goes against most industrial habits. It also goes against most regulations or requires to create some. It raises important questions such as the authoring of generated assets, data ownership, data privacy. And did I mention it goes fast? A relevant demo probably hit the internet since I started talking. So to understand the new outcomes of AI and video games, it is important to understand their context, how they have been developed using each other's, and the intimacy they created over time. First, some definitions. A game is all about skills development. Kids learn a lot through games, first aligning shapes and colors, but also learning tactics and even to socialize. Artificial intelligence seek to make human great decisions. Games, and by extension video games, represent an ideal setup to compare decision-making of AI and humans. The research in AI has been paved with such breakthroughs, and we all remember the match between Kasparov and Deep Blue more than 20 years ago. So it means that for decades, games have served as benchmarks for AI. But video games have evolved too. On the left, you see how we made a racing game 20 years ago. It's a closed circuit, and the city is just here for decoration. On the right, racing is only one feature of a game. The city is now full of rich interactions and populated by many characters or different types of vehicles. This change has been made possible thanks to new technologies, and AI has provided many of the tools that enabled those evolutions. In the history of their development, AI and video games have followed intricate tracks. But after 7 decades of mutual influence, both have reached a new level. It's now a good time to reinvent the relationship. Let's start to see how. Our success comes from our innovations. Our sustainability comes from our ability to reproduce them. Every technology or process follows a life cycle. First, it takes time to provide convincing results. Then, most problems are overcome, and the recipe is improved over time before reaching a plateau. Then a new technology emerges, like artificial intelligence. Today, it produces results that are globally less performant than our well-established recipes. But how much time will it take to be on par? We think it's going to be 2 to 3 years. So, how do we explore this area? This is a type of open world we create at Ubisoft. We offer rich interactions for the players, and all of this requires tons of data, textures, animations, dialogues, models, but also AI to drive the world's components' behavior. Those simulations offer appealing challenges for the science, but also very interesting assets to solve them. As gaming industry, we have two great assets. Game engines that can be used to train or test artificial intelligence. We also have lots of very specific data, such as animation data, textures, dialogues. Creating or using these data is key to the development of deep learning. But how do you make it happen when AI is still essentially at academic level? This is a path of innovation, and this is a scale of love. The academic world puts a lot of love on the left side of innovation. A good researcher is known by the quality and the quantity of his or her research publications. At Ubisoft, we focus on creating amazing experiences. So when we try to collaborate on academic topics such as AI, there is in the middle what I call the gap of wasted ideas. Almost 3 years ago, we decided to bridge this gap. Ubisoft La Forge is an open place where we bring in our people and researchers to work on prototypes that serve both interests. Make greater games while creating public knowledge. Researchers at La Forge have access to everything, like our employees do. Our data, our experts, our technologies, our facilities. We've been working on those cutting-edge topics for a few years now. We learned that AI could serve as assistance for our creators. This is the most common usage of AI, automating the part of the work that is redundant and lets creators focus on creating. It also opens up new possibilities and features to improve our players' experience. But we also discovered that the playground of our open world might be a lobby to the real world. Let me share with you some concrete examples. As professionals from the gaming industry, we know that behind the curtain, there's a lot of technology and science going on. Our industry reaches a point where not only are we technology consumers, but our innovations have a potential of broader and richer impact. All the following examples are new prototypes from Ubisoft. Don't tell anyone. If it leaks, I know it's going to be you. Animations are key to make our worlds believable. They convey a lot in terms of sound and feedback for the gameplay, but also key to making coherent systems and enticing worlds. Assassin's Creed is a franchise recognized for the quality of its open worlds. History is our playground. However, The size and the richness of a world leads to technical trade-offs. As an example, you can see here that characters feel a bit on a rail if you pay attention. Is there a way to create more diverse and organic animations while simplifying the production process? This is an example of data-driven animation, or, in other words, an AI that generates the right motion animation. Not only does it require less production effort, it will offer more appealing feel for the player. This changes our pipelines and the way we work. We need to manage efficiently all those animations, and tagging them manually is not practical. So, we developed an AI-based search engine prototype that is able to recognize the type of emotion. So let's say you want to add different run motions, the points in yellow. The AI automatically finds the animations in green that are most similar to your selection, the dot in red. It means that the AI is able to classify motion data. As an animator, it gives the ability to quickly find a variety of animations instead of producing them. But navigating in huge databases is not only the challenge of animators. Motion capture was a technology used initially in healthcare. Like a radiography helps to diagnose your bones, motion capture measures motion. So let's pretend your knee has been injured. What if a doctor could capture your motion and immediately compare it to a huge database and find the closest cases associated and the associated therapies and results? Creating believable open worlds, such as living cities, is a challenge. Traditional AI programming includes a lot of static condition. If this happens, then do that. Rich ecosystems lead to code that is difficult to tweak and to maintain. What if we let cars learn how to drive instead of telling them when to steer? Do you remember Turing? Reinforcement learning is a very specific area of AI where you give to your agents high-level goals, rules, and rewards. So in our case, we give an AI agent access to a steering wheel, brakes, accelerator, and give some rewards when it succeeds in following a trajectory or stop at intersections, and punishments when it fails. Then the AI will try and learn to maximize its reward, thus developing a strategy to drive. This is for single agents like cars or characters. We can apply the same kind of techniques for multi-agents, like, say, traffic or crowds. On the left, we have a traditional type of path-finding algorithm. Each agent tries to optimize its own path. On the right, we have developed a new type of algorithm that works like a shared intelligence, like a flock, a swarm, or a crowd. It results as a more fluid and believable behavior, hence providing a richer experience.
Like you see this like players watch
the gaming industry develops
graphics gets way more better.
We want them to be reliable and safe. What if we used the power of gaming technology to simulate real-life transportation? Can we create specific scenarios or train and audit real-life vehicles, not only cars, but also drones? In huge open worlds, what is exactly the challenge of creating characters? And could our solutions have a broader impact?
Hi everyone. Rich interactions in believable virtual worlds require a huge diversity of characters and dialogues. Planning and maintaining all interactions in advance becomes daunting. Creating characters who can automatically react to a situation is key, and this system of dialogue is a first step.
Today my underlying technology helps game developers, and soon it will face players. And with richer emotions I might be useful in other areas. I'm already discussing with healthcare researchers to potentially help the treatment of people who have schizophrenia or anxiety.
Games are increasingly complex pieces of software. Hundreds of people contribute to programming a AAA game, developing thousands of systems contains a bug with a precision of 70%. We are also expanding to new challenges. Online technologies being more and more complex and less neutral. We opened a research initiative on predicting the stability of online services. This research aimed to help our developers in their day-to-day, but also to improve the online experience of players. But can other software development domains benefit from such breakthroughs? I'm happy to unveil a brand new partnership between two technology leaders, Mozilla and Ubisoft. We are joining our forces by dedicating 5 experts from each company to work together on new tools and methods to increase code quality. We will be exchanging technologies, skills, knowledge with a common objective, building better software. AI has been an enabler for video games, and video games have been an enabler for AI. But after this young romance of 70 years old, their relationship is about to give birth to new opportunities, and our technologies, our expertise are starting to push the boundaries of the virtual world to solve real-life challenges. At Ubisoft La Forge, we discovered that our world might be the next open world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jacquier and Ubisoft for driving innovation brought by gaming and AI. We're going to take a 20-minute break, coffee break right outside over here, and then we'll be right back in the room. Thank you.
The live stream is over, so goodbye, guys. It's finished and it's over, so goodbye. Red. Bad data. Bad exit like in the live stream. 3